In the 2020s, the world is changing and faster than it ever has done before. The digital, technological and environmental revolution is posing huge questions for policymakers who are struggling to keep up, but keep up they must. So to help them every week on TNG, we put a face to that change and we get to know who is making it all happen and how they're doing it. We meet the changemakers. This week's changemaker is Nish Parekh, the founder of Kapdaa, Kapdaa. And he began by telling us exactly what Kapdaa is.
So we work with fashion and interior designers and reuse their fabric waste and offcuts. So, for example, any T-shirt or shirt you may be wearing, when it was created, there's always small pieces left over. We reuse those pieces and convert it into sustainable products like journals, sleeping masks, hard wallets, etc. Usually, these pieces are chucked into landfill.
How is it that you stop it from getting into landfill? What's the brilliant way you do to make it all practical and usable?
So we use these offcuts to create into day-to-day products. So it extends the life of an offcut. So that way it doesn't end up in the landfill straight away and we've got another 2-3 years to use a journal, to use a sleeping mask, a card wallet. And over the past few years, we worked with some well-known brands like Selfridges, Met Museum, America Transo, Ray-Ban to reuse their materials and then create these sustainable products for them. So, for example, if you go and buy a T-shirt from one of these designers, they'll give you like a notebook created off your offcut. So even where your offcut has been and you're getting it back as well.
So presumably you come in, you look at bits of material which companies might say is no use to anybody anymore because it's the end of the line or the wrong shape, and you say, well, no, there is a use for that, and I can tell you what it is.
Yes, so what they do is they inform us that these are the kind of offcuts we do have. And then we create products and design products around those offcut sizes. So there's minimum wastage.
It sounds quite labour intensive though, for very small amounts of material. There's quite a lot of human work, human hours going into saving what is actually not worth very much.
It's not worth a lot in terms of monetary value, but if you see from the environment's point of view, we being a small company over the past few years, we've saved around 10,000 meters from going to landfill.
Hugely important, anything that could be saved rather than just buried or burned, of course.
Yes, I think that's the key, that we want to give designers and even consumers the option to extend the life of an offcut. That's why we started selling these products even on our website, because we get a lot of donations. People come and drop it over at our offices. Even the designers we work with have a lot more. And even recycling centers are getting in touch with us to say if you can make something out of old given T-shirts or new sort of material waste and so on.
And what gave you the idea?
I would thank that to my mom. She is a fashion designer, and I was at her workshop after my master's, and we saw a lot of offcuts, and we sort of cut into 2 rectangular pieces, pasted it together, and we came up with the first offcut product, which was a bookmark. And from there on, 5 years down the road, we've worked with more than 300 brands worldwide. And at every step, we've actually improved our products. It's not only just the offcut we use, but also the packaging materials comes from cornstarch. Even the ink we use comes from soot, which is the factory chimney waste.
Nish, final question to you. We ask this of all our changemakers. If you're alone in Downing Street with the Prime Minister, you've got 5 minutes, just him and you in his study, what's the one thing you'd ask him for to help you do what you do?
We'd like to create a simple product cycle for textile. We as a country need to be self-sufficient. We need to recycle our own offcuts, our own material waste, rather than putting it on a container. So we need to have this streamline it. So from the time the garment's created to the offcuts, to the garment being worn, and to then it getting upcycled. It has to be very simple and has to be easily accessible without a lot of red tape around it. So even smaller and larger designers can be a part of it willingly.
Nish Parekh, the co-founder of Kapdaa, the Offcut company. Thanks so much for being our changemaker today.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
Changemakers on Times Radio.